Today, we are putting, by the way, I'm wearing a Chevrolet shirt. We're putting a Ford motor in a Ford, so I hope the lightning doesn't strike. So today we're putting this 302 engine back in this Bronco, and there's a few things. First of all, you want to be very safe about this, and you want to get a couple of people around you because you lift, 400, 500, 600 pounds up in the air, hang it over the front of this, and everybody's got their hands involved. So one of the things that works very well is designate someone to kind of be the foreman so that as things happen, somebody is saying, okay, everybody clear, drop it down, things of that nature, so that everybody knows what's going to happen and nobody gets their finger hurt or an arm twisted or something that could possibly cause you some injury. So be very careful when you're moving these around. Also, be sure that you have we call these cherry pickers, and make sure you have one that is substantial and will lift a motor up without, because I've seen these things fall over from them being too cheap. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to make sure that your wheels, you can see that we extend this out so that there's no chance for this thing to flip over. And right here, you get the boom out where it's far enough out that it can reach the engine and still get it inside of the Bronco. So you need to figure that out before you raise this engine up and get it over here and then find out you can't get in there far enough. So take this without the engine, roll it up here and set it about right here where the hook is, so you know that you have enough room to drop that engine into this Bronco. Now, the other thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that everything that you need to get bolted on is bolted on and properly torqued. So as an example, this is a standard transmission style engine, and this is the clutch assembly back here and the flywheel right here. So you want to be sure that these are both bolted on and ready to go. And you want to make sure that on the Ford, the starter plate is here. Now in the back of this, where the clutch aligns up, you'll see this is splined. And there's a tool that you use to slide in there to align this up, because if you don't have it lined up before you put it in, it won't fit onto the transmission. So that's another thing you need to do. Now, do you want to start with the motor mounts on the engine or off? Most of the time on. So in this case, I got that backwards. We have the engine motor mounts inside the engine assembly here, right here. And you can see that we're going to try to drop this in, make that part of it go into the back of the engine through the clutch, and then line up with these holes to mount bolts back up in the motor. Another thing that you want to do is on the front of the transmission right here, this part goes into what's called the pilot bushing. You want to make sure that pilot bushing is lubricated. If it's not, it'll make it hard to shift the transmission. So that's just some tips. Now stand back and we're going to watch them lift this engine up in the process of trying to install it. We have an air-operated lift right here, so that noise is what is lifting this up. All right, now we noticed that the boom here might have hit the back of this truck, and that would have been a little bit difficult. So we backed up and repositioned, and you notice that somebody just kind of directing all this makes it a lot easier to get it in, and you don't have five guys with a different opinion how to drop it in there. Okay, so now we're going to slide it up in there and get the engine over the top of the radiator support. Eric's going to tell him which way to go, so we're wanting to go back that way, so swing your engine. There you go. Now that we're clear, and then we're going to have to come up some, it looks like. All right, that ought to be good. Let's go forward a little bit now. Watch your top up there. I think we're clearing okay. We're good. Okay, keep coming on back. Back a little more.
Right there?
Right there. Okay, you come down now? Yeah. All right, now you kind of get an idea how this works. We're going to go ahead and drop this on in, and we'll catch you back on another video showing you how this has all been mounted and ready to go.